Don't spend 6 months trying to build a product. Stop trying to create the perfect product. If there are 12 months in the year and you use 6 months to build the product, how long is that? That's half of the year. Exactly my point. You say, oh, you're trying to build the perfect product. How do you say that? You can't have a second chance to make a first impression. It's not true. Even Google have had to rebrand themselves, just in case you're wondering. If you're spending more than 2 months to build and launch a product, it's not even about missing out. Like you're wasting valuable time. But you're trying to make a perfect product. I understand, but there is no perfect product. Even your iPhone and MacBooks, that people have this idea that Apple has the best product, the most innovative technology and all that. It's not true. Let me show you something. Look at this. It says macOS. I'll put a screenshot. It says macOS 15 points. May not be so clear, but it says Sequoia 15.3.2. That's the macOS here. What does that tell you? That there was a version 1 down to 14. I know last year there was 14, maybe 13 was like the year before that, and then this is 15, and even within 15 there is a 15.1, and then it has like its own versions under that. There's a 15.2. This is a 15.3.2. That means there was a 15.3.1. What am I trying to say? Even Apple understands that we can get it to work, we can ship that and improve. So what you describe as innovation is actually an improvement, not some stellar technology. So if Apple doesn't build the best technology, what do they do? It's simple. What Apple does is make it work, right? And then when it works, you ship it. The other thing you do that Apple does is branding. Branding and marketing is what they use to control the perception of how you see the products. Some of you have seen this Apple Intelligence that they launched late last year, and they've been forcing everybody to agree to use it. Can I be honest with you? The Apple Intelligence doesn't even work as well as Siri. Like Siri, the assistant that was there before. It doesn't understand as well as Siri. Some of you don't even know this, but it's facts. You can check it for yourself. When you've seen some of these comparison videos where they compare maybe the iPhone camera with the Samsung, with the Huawei and all these kind of devices. The iPhone camera usually performs least. The iPhone camera usually performs least, but you probably think that the iPhone has the best camera, and that's because of perception. Let me tell you something I noticed about the iPhone. Again, I'm not attacking Apple, I'm just trying to explain something about product launch here. Many people who use an iPhone, they have to take pictures and make the camera show. That's it. Because part of the value of buying from the phone is the perception it sends as well, not the technology that they say it does, what is inside. Some of you go around with power banks all the time, because when it comes to some other things that matter in the phone, it fails. Now, I'm not saying build a faulty product, right? But there's this concept of the minimum viable product. Let it work, ship it. If it works, ship it. And those of you who really build technology, you know that, like you write code, you know that, I don't know why my screen is going dark, but you know that a technology can sound breathtaking, but inside is just instructions. It's not that It's not as sophisticated as we make it sound. I mean, sometimes we tell ourselves that it sounds like that. Don't get me wrong. There are some technology that seem cool, but if you build technology, if you write code, you will know that it's just instructions, and even the instruction that you give those instructions that you give the computer is sort of limited, and I'll explain. I don't know why my screen keeps going. Okay, and I'll explain. Right, 1 week after DeepSeek was launched, I started doing some tests on it. Found that as I was comparing it with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was performing less than DeepSeek. Now this is very crucial. Pay attention. DeepSeek will typically give you better results. When I did those tests, I will do them repeatedly to see that DeepSeek actually has better results, better understanding of the prompt and all of that. Within about 1 or 2 weeks of doing this test and deciding that okay, DeepSeek works better, I'm going to be using it. It's not mutual effect. I said let me try back ChatGPT for some task. Turns out that ChatGPT began outperforming DeepSeek. Right, the quality of the code, the way it understands the instruction. Because most times I like to use ChatGPT to visualize my algorithms. Right, and DeepSeek was struggling for some of these things because it's like this. Somebody else creates something. Now technology is driven by innovation, right? Somebody else creates something, it lets you know what's more possible, and then you create that and then possibly improve on it. You're like, oh okay, this is possible, this can also work. Why am I telling you this story? You have an idea, you have a product you want to launch. Learn how to build MVPs, minimum viable product, and put it out. Then get feedback while it's out there. Don't give it to your friends, don't give it to your friends. Get feedback while it's out there. Iterate on it, that's improve on it with that. Don't try to create version 15 without creating a version 1. Start from there, improve on it, and keep going like that until you have your version 15 that everybody thinks is mind-blowing, but you know that you had to improve over time. Share this video with someone who's a builder. Peace.